They're coming to Augusta on Friday night, the 26th at Enterprise Mill. We have Patrick himself joining us here in the mix. However, you're in the snowy mix right now because you're in the car in Nashville. How cold is it up there?
Yes. It's currently 22, which is actually the warmest it's been in about 3 days.
Oh, good Lord.
We're going to be at 1 this weekend. 1. So,
well,
yeah, a little chilly.
You win. Okay. I think we might hit 16.
Yes. Oh, my gosh.
I admit, the last time we saw you, the last time you were here was in November, the Kelly Brothers Sticks and Strings benefit. That was a huge night. So much talent on stage. And now we're here in 2024. How are the holidays for you?
Wonderful, wonderful. It's always, the slowest time of the year in Nashville. Really, the only time that we get to take off from the road is December and January. Mm-hmm. So these few weeks are pretty nice. And one of my last shows of the year was actually the Kelly Brothers. I think that was in November, and that was a beautiful night. And it kind of. I had some friends, we have a lot of mutual friends down there in Augusta, and they were telling me I need to get back to Augusta. And so I said, well, the end of January sounds like a good time. And Enterprise Mill, I've played there before, and it's a nice venue. And I'm looking forward to bringing the Midnight Choir, my full band down, and hopefully making some good music.
So tell us more about it, because you're bringing this exclusive performance on the 26th at Enterprise Mill with limited tickets available. So what can concert goers look forward to?
Well, I like to think of myself as a storyteller and kind of an entertainer. I mean, that's kind of why I do the Kelly Brothers. We're the house band for the Kelly Brothers show, and we play some tunes, and then Charles and John and Josh and all the other guys come out and play with us. And so I love being on stage, and I've made my living in Nashville for many years, writing songs for folks. And so the past few years I've started performing more. And so what I get to do in these shows is it's kind of an intimate experience. The Enterprise Mill is not a huge venue, and I kind of like that because I can really lean on the storytelling, tell people the stories behind the songs I'm going to perform. Some they've heard before by other folks, some that are my songs.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. I don't know how else to say it other than, if you want a show, like a real show, it's kind of like, not like a Vegas show, but it's still, I kind of make you laugh, cry, hopefully make you dance a little bit. That's the idea.
He's all over the place. I can guarantee you this. And you mentioned the songwriting here. You've written for the likes of Jimmy Clark. You've written for Jewel, Lady A, of course, Jimmy Buffett, the late great Jimmy Buffett, and many more. What inspires you the most when you're writing songs for other people? Because you've got so many influences yourself that probably come through that as well, right?
Yeah, growing up in the South, I grew up in Camden, South Carolina, so right across the border, I think that's one reason why Augusta is always, me and Charles Kelly have been buddies for a long time, and I think it's because we met and we instantly had a musical connection, probably 15, 20 years ago now, because we came from the same place. So we grew up on the Allman Brothers, and we grew up on Marshall Tucker, and we just grew up on a lot of music that we speak the same language. So for me, my influences are kind of all based on those people that we all fell in love with in the South. We kind of had the same love affair with Southern rock and a little bit of old country, but really kind of more of that Southern rock, classic rock thing that happens down there a lot. So that's where my influence, I think, for a lot of my songwriting comes from. I've always loved telling stories. I've always appreciated those folks that sing about the South. Mm-hmm. I think that's very important for me, is to talk about where I'm from. And I know a lot about the area, so a lot of my songs kind of lean on that.
Yeah, speaking of songs, your most recent album, Caroline When I Die, really shows off your storytelling and musicianship. Did I say that right?
Yes, you said it right.
That's right.
What was the catalyst for this release?
Yeah, well, Carolina When I Die, it's a song that's very special to me because, as I mentioned, I grew up in the South. I grew up in South Carolina. But that entire region, I feel like a lot of folks do, if they're not from the South, they wish they were.
Right.
And so I feel like I have the ability to tell that story to the world. And that's kind of, I feel like when we get older, we start recognizing what we're good at. And one of the things that I feel like I am better than better than most, I guess, is telling that story about what our experience. And that experience is something that I think is universal. Even though I sing about the South, one wonderful thing about a lot of those songs is you can close your eyes and think about wherever you're from. And that's really the connection is what we're all trying to do. And I think that's what I do when I perform live. And I hope that's what I do with my songwriting is that I connect us, because in this world where we all are told we're connected more than we ever have been, we actually feel disconnected a lot. So that's kind of what I hope I'm helping with.
Well said.
Good words.
Yeah.
So it's a new year, 2024. You're coming this way. What's next for Patrick Davis?
Man, it's I have a TV show that I've started with PBS and American Public Television called Southern Songwriters with Patrick Davis, and that'll air all across the country this summer. And actually, the next one of those is happening in February. They're live TV tapings, and Charles Kelly is actually going to be on that one
Well,
with me. That's in Sumter, South Carolina. So yeah, so it's a pretty. I like to think of it as Anthony Bourdain meets Austin City Limits. So I go around and talk about these wonderful places where history has happened in the South, and then we do a performance at a theater usually. So that happens. And then also the album, the Carolina When I Die, I'm finishing that up this year. Singles from that are starting to come out now. So you guys check me out on all the streaming platforms, and hopefully that'll help you make the decision to come see me at Enterprise Mill on the 26th.
Okay, well, take our word for it. It's absolutely worth it. January 26th at Enterprise Mill. It's Patrick Davis and the Midnight Choir. You get your tickets, patrickdavismusic.com. And Patrick, appreciate it. Get out of that cold car now.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry I'm in the car. I'm sorry I had to do this in the car.
Just stay warm. Just stay warm.
Yes.